So in this video, we're going to be looking at how to set up for the final project on this platform called Codeanywhere. So far in the course, you've been kind of making a website from scratch or by hand coding it, right? And so you've been using HTML and CSS to make a website. And while it's useful to understand how that works, in practice, you're not usually going to be making a website completely from scratch most of the time. You're probably going to use a platform like WordPress or maybe some site builder, Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, something like that. So I'm using WordPress for this project because it's one of the most popular content management systems out there for making websites. And getting started with WordPress, there's several different ways you can do it. You can use WordPress.com, but we're going to be doing something a little different by doing what's called a custom installation of WordPress on this Codeanywhere platform. So to get started, you're going to go to codeanywhere.com. And let me log out here just so you can see what it would look like at first. What you're going to need to do is to create an account on Codeanywhere. So you'd go to sign up. And I want to mention this here. You really should make an account specifically for this website. Please don't use Google or Facebook to log in here, simply because I'm going to need your login information to see your project and grade it. So you probably don't want to share personal login information from Google or Facebook or anything like that. So if you could just use a password that you don't care about me having access to, just so that I can log into your Codeanywhere account and grade your projects, because I'm going to need that information. So make an account here through Codeanywhere specifically for this class. So I'm going to log in here. Once you've created an account, you should see this. And once I actually log in, you should come to a screen that they call the editor. Now, this is actually a place where you can edit code in the same way that you do with brackets, but you're actually doing it what we call, in the cloud, which the cloud just means somebody else's computer. So basically, if you edit code on Codeanywhere, you're just working on code that's saved on the Codeanywhere servers instead of on your own computer, basically, which can be really useful. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is installing WordPress on this Codeanywhere platform, and we're going to be creating a new connection for that. And this is what should pop up automatically when you first go to Codeanywhere. For the name, it really doesn't matter, but you should probably go with something like Final Project. This next part is really important. Under Container, you're going to select from a bunch of different containers. And specifically, you're going to scroll down to basically the bottom where it says WordPress. Now, there's two different versions. There's not going to be a significant difference in practice, but for this class, and just so we're all on the same page, I'd like you to choose the top one. So WordPress Ubuntu 14.04. Okay, choose this one, not the CentOS one below it. So we're going to use this WordPress Ubuntu 14.04, and then we're going to create that. And so it's going to be creating this container. It's going to take a while, but basically what it's doing is just downloading a bunch of files. So WordPress, when I say we're downloading and installing WordPress, that might seem a little strange, but WordPress is just a collection of files. You can actually download all of the files for WordPress from wordpress.org. You can see if we go here, internet's being a little slow because all these files are loading. But we can see it says download WordPress. If I did that, I'd get a whole bunch of files, and I could use those and install it on my hosting service like GoDaddy or HostGator or whatever hosting platform you might be using. But what we're doing here is using Codeanywhere to basically host our WordPress site. And we don't actually have to go here and download the files, because Codeanywhere is essentially going to be downloading all of that stuff for us. And you can see it looks like it's done here. This is Final Project Container, so that's good. And we can see it says connections over here. It says final project. And we can see that there's a bunch of folders and then a whole bunch of PHP files. And you can click on these. You don't need to know what any of this stuff is. But these are PHP files. And that stands for PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. That's what WordPress is made of. It's another kind of scripting language that's very popular in web development. So WordPress is made up of a bunch of PHP files, but fortunately you don't have to know PHP to work with it. So once WordPress is installed, and it is, if you see all of these files over here, there's some folders. As long as you see all of these folders and files, then WordPress should be installed. And once you've done that, to actually kind of run your website and see what it looks like, you're just going to hit the little run project. It looks like a little play button in the top left half of the screen. So right here, we're going to click Run Project, and it's going to open up a new tab. And here we can actually run the kind of WordPress first time setup process. So this is where, you choose your language, site title. It really doesn't matter. You can put your name or my cool site. You can always change this, so don't worry about that too much. The username and password, it's totally fine in this case to do something really unsafe like admin and password. You would never want to do this on an actual production, live WordPress site. But this particular WordPress site isn't really accessible by anyone else, so there's really nothing wrong with using admin and password. I'm just going to do that. For now, I'm going to say username is admin, password is password, and I'm going to confirm use of weak password. And I do need to put my email in here, and then I'm going to say install WordPress. Usually this is pretty quick, this first kind of setup here. You can see that's all it took. WordPress has been installed. Now, as soon as I do that, I'm going to go to login. And this will take me to the login page. So with WordPress, you actually have accounts, and you can actually have multiple accounts on WordPress. So you could make accounts for different people to collaborate with you on the site. As you will see, the username and password are used to give you access to a portion of the site that allows you to edit it and add content. So let's go ahead and log in here. And this is going to take us to what's called the WordPress dashboard. So this is where you actually edit the site. So somebody going to your site, my cool site, will not see any of this stuff. I'm going to cover all of these different sidebar elements in another video, but this is just about kind of setting up WordPress and getting started working on the final project. So this is the dashboard. Again, no one will see this. This is just for you as an editor of the site. To actually see what the site looks like, you can just click on this little, site title here. I'm going to visit the site. And here it is. This is like the default WordPress theme. So there you go. You have your WordPress site set up. And you can go back here to the dashboard to get back to editing it. Okay. So that's it. That's the main thing I wanted to cover. As long as you've got to this dashboard, you're good. I'm going to close this out though. And I want to talk about some things that you might run into when you go to work on the project again. Like let's say you work a little bit, you shut this down, and you want to get back to that and work on it. So I'm going to go here. We can see where it says final project. Sometimes when you first go into Codeanywhere, this little final project will not actually open. So you have to right click on it and you have to sometimes restart it or say turn on. And that's just because we're basically kind of booting up this virtual computer so that it can run our WordPress site. So I'm going to right click here and I could say restart and turn on, and that will start it up. See, sometimes you might get a message like can't run WordPress site because it's not turned on. So you can turn the container on over here with these controls by right clicking on that connection. So again, I'm going to click this little run project button. And so here I am at my site. Again, what if you get here, but you're not actually logged in? You want to be able to log back in to be able to edit the site. So I just click up here, add a /wp-admin. Okay, this is really important. This is how you get to the editing area of your site. So you take the address that pops up and and you add /wp-admin onto the end. And as soon as I do that, I can get back to the dashboard and edit everything. So that's pretty much it as far as setting up WordPress and Codeanywhere. You just want to make sure you create a WordPress container. That'll take a few minutes, and then you can just run the project, and it'll take you to the dashboard where you can actually edit the site. And that's really all there is to it.